Hey guys, today we are going to talk about Doe versus Bono. You might know him as Destiny, and Doe we know is Pxie. So Pxie's made that public. Now, there are a few arguments that the defendant Destiny has used. Probably his best argument is the fact that there is no jurisdiction, meaning that the law that is cited does not apply to him because the instance happened after the law. So the particular law in question, when it came into law, all past instances where it would have been suable or would have been a civil lawsuit uh, did not apply because it was this is the date, and in all cases after this date can apply this new law. And that is a very, very strong point that Destiny has. And this is the point many times it's almost like a technicality, if you will. Many times in the legal sense, the best win is a technical win because there's no opinion, there's no bias, there's nothing that can be done. So today we're going to take a look at how strong is that? Does Destiny have a point? Does the timeline favor Destiny or does it favor Pxie? Now, a good lawyer, had Pxie had a good lawyer, would never make this mistake because it is a ending mistake. In fact, I would say that the timeline, as we know via Carl Jobs, is incredibly important for any lawsuit, right? What happened when? And as the timeline per Destiny, again, this is Destiny's version of the timeline, it would basically end the lawsuit on a quote technicality. And that would just, there would be no really coming back from this. So today we're going to look at Jane Doe versus Stephen K. Bono or Destiny. This is in the Southern District of Florida. This lawsuit is quite expensive. It is very deep. I wanted to show you how deep the lawsuit was. It is very deep. It is a lawsuit where I think it could cost $500,000. Destiny has been on record saying that he will defend himself no matter the cost, even if it costs a lot more than that. The court lacks subject matter jurisdiction over this dispute and should dismiss the complaint accordingly. Yet, despite having already burdened the court with 5 pending motions, plaintiff now filed a 6th motion, this time seeking leave to amend her complaint, which on its face fails to adequately plead subject matter jurisdiction. So this is step one. It might seem very crazy, but like in law school, one of the first class that you learn semester 1 is called civil procedure. And then you learn civil procedure 2. And when you take your bar exam, you learn civil procedure. Basically, what this means is, are we in the right court? If we are not in the right court, what is the right court? Should it be a federal court or a state court? What is the jurisdiction? It seems, and this is a very, very crazy thing to say, that Destiny's attorney may not have the right jurisdiction, which is wild. That would blow my mind because that is the first thing this is the first thing that you would even think about here, right? If the proposed amendment fails to state a plausible claim under Rule 12, it is legally futile and must be denied. Case. Critically, courts routinely deny leave to amend when the alleged conduct cannot possibly have occurred after the effective date of the applicable statute. So this is up to the lawyer again, for Pxie's lawyer, to get the information, to get the dates, and not, regardless of what you feel, right? Regardless of the emotions of what you feel. Oh, did Destiny leak it? Was he hacked? Was his other girlfriend hacked? Who knows? Was he responsible? Should he have been more careful? If you are not technically sound if you're not technically sound, there is no lawsuit, right? In opposition, defendant asserts that CARDI did not go into effect until October 2022, and that because the newly alleged conduct occurred prior to that date, plaintiff's CARDI claim cannot lie as a matter of law. Since there is no clear congressional intent to apply the statute retroactively, this leads. So the case law has already been decided before the statute was enacted. When the statute was enacted, there was a case. Hey, can you retroactively apply the statute? And the answer was no. So we already know in case law that it cannot be retroactively applied. Demonstrates Bono transmitted the video on just one occasion, nearly 6 months before Cardi. So Cardi is the statute they're talking about came in existence. I am absolutely stunned right now. Like, this is, and I don't know like how this thing ended up as long as it did. We're talking about a very long lawsuit with a lot of lawyer fees, and they didn't even get the statute. They didn't even file within time of the statute, or the action didn't occur after the statute. Here, plaintiff has multiple opportunities to demonstrate through admissible evidence that Bono transmitted a video after the effective date, so it has to be after. It is plaintiff's burden of proof to show that, hey, it was transmitted after the effective date of the Cardi statute. No documentary evidence of Bono transmitting the video after the effective date was included with the plaintiff's reply papers, and Abby CM failed to appear at the evidential hearing. During Bono's cross-examination of plaintiff at June 3rd hearing, plaintiff acknowledged that she did not possess any documentary evidence of post-Cardi transmission of the video apart from Abby C. Now, Abby C did not actually appear, so can we trust Abby C? I do not know. Plaintiffs belatedly submitted a screenshot of a text message, presumably from Abby C to unidentified third party, which Abby C claimed to have received the video from Bono on an unspecified date. So this is very important. Now, again, the argument that Pxie has is, hey, you did actually send the video after the Cardi 2 date. And here's my key witness, Abby C. And then Abby C would testify and say, yeah, absolutely. But she got cold feet, because remember, when you testify, it's under perjury, which means you could go to jail for lying. So Abby C is this, I mean, again, maybe your argument on Pxie's side, oh, Bono was pressuring her not to, he's making remarks on this. It's a fascinating case because it should have been over already. The fact that it has continued as long as it has means that the facts have changed, right? So the dates, the time, and the timeline is uncertain. So that's why this case has gone as long as it has. If you did have a certain timeline, either way, whether or not Destiny was sending videos after the date or before the date, or you had evidence he was saying after the date, we continue on. The timeline then makes sense for Pxie to sue. If it was only before the date and there's no evidence of Destiny signing the materials, the corn materials, so he doesn't need to rely on any other arguments like consent or any of this stuff. Winning on a technicality is always the best win legally, because there's no coming back from that. There's no, oh, I feel this way, or he did this to me, or da-da-da. No. You're in the wrong jurisdiction. You are in the wrong jurisdiction. And anyone knows that civil procedure is the first thing you learn in law school. So I have no idea how Pxie's lawyer would make a mistake like this. But yet, we'll see what happens. Anyway, give this video a like if you like it, and a comment if you have any questions about civil procedure, one of the most boring things you learn in law school. But the first thing you learn, and it's also on the bar exam, right? Anyway, bye guys.